Hello and welcome to Disability in Fiction. This is our workshop that we run every Saturday, 8 a.m. PST. I'll go through that in a second because that's in my PowerPoint that I'm about to show you. So this is a workshop that we run on WordCamp and ScriptCamp, and essentially we want to have more disabled characters in the media. And so we run workshops to help all writers, whether you have a disability or not, to help you to create better characters that are more accurate, more lifelike, more real and genuine. People of any age, gender, religion, race, or socioeconomic background can be disabled. And so it's important that we're seeing those, it's important that we're seeing that representation in the media. Yeah, sorry. Multitasking again. Unsuccessfully, but kind of successfully, we'll see. Now, next slide, please. We ask, I'm going to run through this very quickly because I think everyone here has already been here before, but make sure you're respectful to everyone. We welcome questions, and we're all here to learn and improve. That's basically our guidelines and expectations summed up. There are 5 types of disabilities: physical, intellectual, sensory, hidden disabilities, and mental health, and all are equally welcome here. Whether that's autism, it's schizophrenia, it's a wheelchair user, it's deafness, it's Down syndrome, whatever disability, it is welcome. This is Disability in Fiction. We meet every other Saturday on WordCamp. At 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. British, and we look at your disabled characters in any media. We try not to have screenplays. We try and move up to ScriptCamp. If you give it to us, fine. But we will always try to prioritize novels and then any other form of media and then screenplays. The Disability in Screenwriting workshop is very much the same. We also review media there and review your characters. That'll be next Saturday. And yeah, that's for TV and film. Disability feedback. We have a prompt from 2 weeks ago, which no one completed, as far as I know. I will double check, but as far as I know, no one completed that, so no coins will be given out. Remember, the deadline for that is 4 p.m. in the late evening for Brits, and I want to say afternoon for Americans. I might be wrong. We always have it in the channel so that you can see it, and hopefully you can all see that channel. If you can't, let me know. But yeah, we'll post another one today, and you'll have 2 weeks to complete it. 5 coins will be given to the winner, as chosen by me and or Willow, and every other participant will receive 2 coins, so there's an incentive to do it. And as an addition, if you don't want to do the prompt, then you can post your own work, and we can review it at some point later, or we can review it at the time, whatever works for people. Finally, as our disclaimer, as always, we are open to discussing sensitive and potentially triggering topics, including mental health, addiction, trauma, and abuse. And so if things get too heavy for you, you're welcome to leave, because your mental and emotional well-being always take priority over your attendance. And breathe. So let's open up the floor to anyone. Whoa. What is that comment? We are failures? What? No, you're not. Oh, because you didn't do a prompt. That makes sense. Well, no. I don't know what I would say there. You're not failures. You just let me down. Make sure you do your prompts, guys.
We just suck.
Yeah, if anyone has any comments, any feedback that they would like. Now is your time to shine.
I'm shining. I want feedback.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so let me show you guys my little log lines. I have a thing, and one of the main characters is a wheelchair user, and it's gonna be fucking cool because once I show you this log line, I will tell you what she can do with that wheelchair, because it's cool.
Yeah.
I will post this in the chat. Let me get that up. Well, I don't know if it's cool yet, but I need to word this better. But this is the logline so far, the pilot and the series logline. I mean, the series and the pilot logline. Don't mix it up.
Oh.
Do I read it out loud?
If you would like to read it out loud, sure.
Sure. Series logline. When aliens return to Earth to finish what they've started, a naive heroine and her teammates must suit up to defend their world and uncover an old conspiracy before their planet is taken over. Pilot logline. After being chased away from her home by an alien spy, a scatterbrained orphan is put under the protection of a secret organization on the condition that she joins their team of heroes. So
Cool.
that's happening. Yeah. And one of the leader of the hero group is not the main character, but instead another character. I named her Ruby Lay. She is a wheelchair user, and these girls can transform sort of into like mecha-like peoples, and they have like weapons and shit. Her wheelchair can transform into a little car thing, a little like ship thing. It's cool. I think it's cool. So basically, she zooms around in it, and then she can fight that way. It's cool. So that's what I'm doing with her. And yes, she does have her own character. I did not just be like, ooh, she's a wheelchair user and that's it. She is a person, first and foremost. I had a little mini personality thing for her because I'm trying to like write every idea down and all that stuff. Let me go get it. She's kind of like a very pissy person, very angry. But
Eden, did you have a
instead
question?
of pissy. No,
Yeah.
but when she was talking about the wheelchair transformation, my initial first thought was like a cold fusion powered go-kart where just goes around.
Yeah, zoom! Stuff.
And it has like these flames along the side because it's cool.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
I don't
This
know,
is
I
like the
think flames
vague
are
thing
cool.
I had for her. I can talk more about her because I have decided more things. But this is like the basics of her personality, which is just like hard ass, pissy, tunnel visions a lot. Like she's very judgmental, but she cares very deeply for the people that she lets into her heart. And is very protective over them, which leads to the judgmental part. She is a very big optimist. She thinks they can basically do anything, with the team she's got, they can do anything kind of deal. But she wants to sound serious at all times. She is like the manager of the group, basically, but also the leader. So she keeps everyone in check.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's her whole deal. So she's like basically the secondary main character. I want her to be a sort of foil for our little ditzy main character, who is. I'll show you her thing too. Aiden gave me great ideas for this because I was confused. Like, so why are the aliens doing alien things? And Eden helped me with that because I was very confused, and I was like, so I had this whole idea, but I don't actually know how it works.
Yes, I can bullshit my way out of any situation. Feel free to spitball ideas with me.
Thank you. This is a liar. Ditzy believes her head to be empty and definitely acts like it, distant from others and in her own little world, worried about how she looks to people whenever she snaps out of it. So she's a bit self-conscious, but she's got like a big imagination, she's adaptable, and she comes up with unorthodox ideas. So she's adaptable with the times. Like an alien invasion? Sure, why not? That's my life now, whatever. And she just goes with the flow, essentially, and she comes up with random ideas, which, like, She's too off the cuff. Ruby don't like that. Ruby don't like that shit. So yeah, those are those two. They're foils to each other, but I think they will end up becoming the best of friends and supporting each other. It'll be great.
Opposites attract after all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Opposites attract. That's how it works. But yeah, I had this idea, and now I want feedback. Thank you.
Cool. Opposites attract. I was just thinking that reminded me of me and Willow. in that I talk very quickly, whereas Willow takes her time to really focus on what she's saying. And you know, and just I don't know why I was reminded of that. But anyway. So your main character is Liar, is that how you say her name?
Yeah, liar.
Cool. And Ruby is a disabled character. I want
Liar
to...
herself has ADHD, I guess. So yeah.
Cool. Okay, cool. So, but it's... Alright, so we'll look at both of them. I'm going to... it's my own workshop, so I'm allowed to do this. I'm going to leave disability to one side for just a second. And I want to ask... What is it about... what is Liar going to struggle with? Because she's a protagonist, and presumably she's going to have a lot of problems to deal with. What are you thinking with that?
Okay, so she's someone with like no motivation, no faith in herself or others. She's just sort of like living this life very, very passively, and she doesn't really she's not feeling very good. So I want her to sort of struggle with like letting people in and trusting them and like sort of like working together with them. So she has trouble doing that because she just doesn't think she's a good fit for anything. So it's a very internal struggle, I guess, but like it'll be external once you put her inside of a team and she has to actually work together with them. And like that kind of like it kind of like fucks her up a little bit. She's a bit of a scatterbrain. She's not good at working with others. And she doesn't really bother trying because she doesn't think that it'll do her any good. So it's sort of like she's got to buck up. Ideal.
So I'm trying to work out how I can help, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just too perfect. I'm just too good.
Actually, the scatterbrain does not really work with ADHD unless it's ADHD and autism combo. Because ADHD people like their routines, whereas autistic people are the more adaptable ones, the ones who will say, okay, alien invasion, this is my life now.
Other way around, I think.
I think isn't it the other way around?
Yeah, it's the other way around.
Or
ADHD
is it? No, yeah, okay, my bad.
All good.
Yeah.
Lucy's getting mixed up.
You're scatterbrain. I'm kidding. No.
Yes, I am. Hello, hi, have we met?
So Liza's your ADHD character, but then we also wait. I don't know what I'm confused about. Yeah, okay, yeah, that does make sense. Cool.
Hello, it's type.
Do either of you have any suggestions for lasagna?
No, I don't know, lasagna. You covered you covered so much of it that I don't have a lot of questions. I felt like you made it very clear. I am wondering, like, what kind of skills or interests do they have? They're teenagers, so do they have families? Do they have roles in the family?
Okay. What are their interests? I can answer this. Okay. So I made them all orphans because when they were basically, so Eden helped me come up with this idea of like the aliens sort of like kidnapping them at a young age, like abducting them at a young age, implanting these devices into them, and then shoving them back in because they're testing something out in which it's like, so there's this whole thing about the aliens being like silica-based DNA. So they're resting on their own planet. They need to move to Earth, and they need to transfer their bodies into human consciousness and all this shit. So they're testing it out with these girls who, matched up, whatever. And so, like, these girls can now transform and do all this crazy shit with their bodies. You
said the silica-based part wrong. Sorry.
I did? I'm
yes,
sorry.
we said silica-based with iron bonds. That's why the iron.
Yeah, with iron bonds. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't realize I had to say the iron bonds part. Okay.
You do, because iron is the part that rusts.
Yes, they're rusting because of iron. Okay, so basically, they're orphans. They're being watched over by these aliens, and they have no fucking idea. Until this organization swoops them up and be like, "Yeah, you were like the main character is chased out of their home by their own caretaker, basically." And like. That's when the organization comes in. So they don't really have any family roles unless you count like one other character who had foster parents who were also aliens. It's like this whole thing. But their interests, I think they all have their necessary roles in the teams. Like Ruby is the leader. Wire is like the off the cuff idea maker. There's two other characters, Liz and Maya. Maya is like sort of like the strategizer, while Liz is the diplomat kind of deal. Their actual interest and hobbies, I don't know. I didn't think about that part. I didn't think that far.
All right.
I had like everything else except for that, so thank you. That is something to figure out because I think it could add a lot to them.
Yeah, just showing how they are as a unique individual outside their identity, outside of their main group, kind of thing. Showing that they are people and they do have lives.
Yeah, I think I thought about Maya's thing. So Maya is like a sports girl. She's like very paranoid of everything, but she does like outside activities like sport. So she be vibing. She be vibing though.
Now,
weird combination of traits.
Yeah.
That could work if you write it well.
Yeah, and I'm a great writer.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am.
I would have to agree. I've seen some of your work, and yep, you are a great writer.
Thank you, Willow. I didn't mean it like.
I know you didn't, but I did.
Oh, I love you. Yeah. Yeah. I think it can work. Fast reaction times to everything. On edge, just doing her thing. But yeah, the other ones, I did not think about their hobbies, so I guess that is something to think about now. Oops. I don't know. I guess Wire doing something creative would be a thing. But like she's maybe like her whole I think like some of the themes of the story is like self-discovery. I think she doesn't think she's worthy of an interest right now. But there's got to be something she at least does absent-mindedly, right? Anyway. Hello, Paul. Welcome. I'm revealing my idea, and listen, planning did work. I admit it. Like I was like complaining about planning the whole time. but now I'm actually able to talk about my ideas without fucking dying.
That's crazy. I would have
Wow,
never
that's
been able to tell you
crazy.
such things.
Who would have thunk it? Fuck you.
Would have thought that the book was written for a reason. I don't know.
Whatever. Anyway,
Heeding
I
advice actually works? What a revelation.
had no idea. But yeah. So that thing's happening. I have to think of hobbies now. Awful. More things to think about.
It's not necessarily hobbies specifically.
Mhm.
That's not quite what I'm getting at. Hobbies I find are kind of easier because certain certain activities bring out certain personality traits.
Mhm.
So let's take, for example, Miss Eden here. I'm going to put a spotlight on Eden. She's over there making this
So just
intricate
quickly,
bracelet. What?
Eden, what are your pronouns? Just quickly.
Sorry?
What are your pronouns?
She, him, just not they.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, sorry. I thought it was the other way around. Sorry. Okay, cool. You're
No,
good.
no.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. I do want to make sure.
I would have corrected you if you said them wrong, but you didn't, so I didn't.
Okay, good. Good, thank you. So, yeah. So she's making this intricate little bracelet that probably takes a whole lot of patience. And that has a whole particular, it has a calming effect, but it takes a particular skill set and mindset to be able to do that kind of a thing. And so that's something that can help build the character. Looking at all of us, we are all writers, every one of us, but none of us are the same. There is a certain love and a joy we get from it, and that might be the same, but how we approach it is very different. And so that's kind of when I am asking about like hobbies and kind of things. It kind of gives a clue into maybe what brings the person joy, but how they might approach a problem. Now, you say that your character is a leader, right? Ruby is a leader.
Mhm.
Well, there's different types of leaders. Let's say there's a big difference between, say, Connor, who is very kind of strong and forceful and prefers a lecture style, versus Nacho, which is who is kind of calm and prefers a kind of pushing you along the way, guiding you into the right spot kind of a style. Both of them are leaders. Both of them are, and then you got Joel as a leader too, because I already did Eden. So you, also being a leader who I think just has fun being here, just enjoys being around the people, and is more of a catalyst, and then likes to watch everyone take off on their own thing that was inspired by him, kind of thing. So there are different types of leaders and different types of people. So when I am asking about hobbies, it's not necessarily about, are they a reader, or do they do computers? I mean, that does help, but it gives us a kind of in a direction of how they might problem solve, or gives them a bit of individuality setting apart. Does that make sense?
How do they
Yeah.
how do they go about their hobbies as well, and how they show their joy? How they, when they are looking to do their hobbies, or what sorts of things are they doing, and their sort of skills as well. I think is it's not you have to answer this question, but more as you think about this question, what else can you think of, sort of thing? Meant to open your mind a bit, I think, is the ideal, but kind of question.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'll think about this. Yeah, I don't have to answer right now, right? Because I can't
Yeah,
come up
no,
with
of
something on the
course.
spot.
No.
So this is not related to lasagna. This is honestly more notes for myself. How they do things, or all right, I'm pinpointing Eden again. There's the spotlight on her. With at the moment, I would say that with this group, working on her project is very relaxing and kind of calming, gives her hands something to do while she's listening to us. But that might very well change if she's with a group of people who are doing the exact same thing. Now it could very well be a competition. Who's going to get theirs finished? Whose is going to be... So even with the hobbies, it may change their perspective or how they do things depending on who they are with.
I have to say the thing when you said, and you said it twice, that I come off as calming when I'm doing this, or calming myself. When I first started doing this, you would have learned 17 new swear words every hour.
I believe you. Oh yes. And
Like
that
the
is
amount of times I wanted to take this whole little loom and throw it so far out the window it would hit the goddamn moon. You have no idea. But also, I find it calming when I do that. I, for some reason, secret to me, like to just let out the steam in this form so I don't have to yell at people for nothing. That's how I calm myself down, by just right now it is actually video games that do it for me. I turn on a video game that frustrates me because the AI cheats, and I just swear at it, and that's how I calm myself down. It's weird, but people do that.
I mean, I can understand that because people go to boxing, they're aggressive and,
Right?
so it's the same sort of thing, just not as physical.
Mhm. This is tea, by the way.
Cool.
Hey.
Yeah.
Thank you for that clarification, because yeah. Oh, feel you there. Yeah. Okay, I'm done embarrassing you, putting you under a spotlight. Okay.
I can turn the spotlight off, right? Alexa, turn the light off. Sorry, I had to do that.
You have no idea how how can I... how perfect your word choice was. My real name is Lexi, and I have been called Alexa many times. Mistake.
No,
So
I actually have an Alexa that turned the light off when I told her to. I literally put the spotlight on me when you said so.
Oh, I love that.
I love it.
And now I lost my place.
Oh no.
No.
No, it's fine. I can find it again, but I didn't. Oh, this is wrong. Start over. I'm good.
I feel like I've lost completely where we are. I enjoyed the tangent. I just feel like I've lost where I got lost in the maze somewhere. So instead, I'm just gonna say, Lasagna, do you feel like you've been helped, or is there something else
I
you
have
need
been
guidance?
helped. I will
Good.
think about this.
Cool.
Yeah. Other than that, I am very cool, and you had no notes.
Yeah,
I mean, last time
did
I
enjoy
joined
it.
Disability. Sorry.
No, go on, Eden.
I was about to say, last time I joined Disability Workshop, I got pointers on how to write people of color instead of disabled people, but yeah, Tangents be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Tangents are good. I'm exhausted, so I'm being silly right now.
I fell down like
Oh.
7 rabbit holes on Google thanks to that, so yeah.
Oh, I remember what you're talking about, yeah. No, yeah. Yeah. Rabbit holes are fun. I enjoy researching disabilities so I can figure out what disability my characters have, and just spending hours reading like the different spinal cord injury levels and stuff. Yeah, that excites me.
Interesting.
Yes.
Last time my friends and I got into a tangent, we were talking about stabbing people through the skull.
Ooh, nice.
Well, actually, not people, but wolves, because we were debating if you can do that and how. If you could thrust sideways is better, or if thrusting forward would be better.
I
And
would
then
thrust
I said,
forward.
no, sideways is actually better. I Googled it. I said, screw
Yeah.
this. I'm probably on some kind of list. Let's Google. And I did.
I've seen this X-ray with the dude who had a knife stuck in his forehead. Shit looked crazy. Like,
Oh
you gotta
boy.
stab pretty dang hard.
Yeah, but the front part of your skull is hard as rock. Like,
That's what I'm
this is pretty
saying.
much
It was
cement.
straight right there where you put your hand into his forehead. I'm like,
Ah.
dude,
Damn.
what an X-ray. Homie was alive too. He lived.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how many brain injuries, like mechanical brain injuries, people can survive. There was a guy who actually had a knife in his head as well, and he drove himself to the hospital, saying that he didn't want to call an ambulance and inconvenience anybody. He didn't even go to the emergency room. He just went to the trauma center and politely waited his turn.
Homie
And yes,
lost all
this
his
happened in
feelings from
Canada.
that stab. I'm dead.
Whoa.
What
Anyway.
a polite young man. Yeah.
Let's open up the floor again to anyone who wants feedback on disabled characters. I said that we try not to have screenplays on. We try and leave that till disability and screenwriting. But if you have a script, then bring it.
I do have something. It is not a script. But it's going to take me a couple minutes to get it prepared. So move on to someone else.
I'm sorry, I don't have anything else.
No worries,
Nothing
cool.
more.
And I keep thinking that I talk too much, so
Yeah, I always like to rush a lot. I mean, I find myself in trouble because now I don't have anything else to talk about. So I'm trying to just be more chilled, slow down my talking.
Yeah, I should have done that myself.
No, you're good, you're good. Whoa, we got a
Okay.
scene.
honest.
Woo!
We got a file. We got stuff to look at.
We just got a
So
letter.
it's 4 pages. All right. So this, I have a lot of backstory to say.
Okay.
Now Lasagna was there for I don't know if Paul was for the table reads in which she read the first episode of my Centaur series. So this is a scene from the second episode. Now kind of the weird thing is that the first episode was in screenwriting format. I started the second episode in screenwriting format. This scene is written in prose. That's just what flowed out of my brain, and I just, instead of trying to force the screenwriting, I just said screw it, and I'm just going to write it down. So that's what I did. I am not skilled in writing like this. I did my best, but 1, I haven't done any editing. I finished it yesterday. And 2, I am so accustomed to screenwriting, which it is a requirement that you write in present tense. But narratively, it is best to write in past tense. So, there's a whole lot of flip-flopping back and forth, and honestly, I don't even know how to write in past tense. So, it has issues. All right. Those are my disclaimers. Backstory of the scene itself. This is a meeting between Shalita and another character that I want you to figure it out. This is their second time meeting. They are Shalita lives on a farm with her the rest of her herd, and she she met two new centaurs earlier in the day, and there was these two strangers just moved there from the city, and there was a misunderstanding going on, and so now Shalita feels bad. She feels guilty that she upset this absolute stranger, and she is going to them. So there are references to an event. You don't really need to know what happened specifically, but it was a misunderstanding on all parts. A particular thing that is not made clear, I don't think, in this is that somebody named Joy got mad at her. Got mad at Shalita. He doesn't know who Joy is. She never met Joy, and yet the name Joy came up, and she does not understand why. So I will leave it to you. My hope is that, I will say what the scene is meant to do. The scene is not meant to clarify the earlier scene. Not meant to understand everything and everything be clear and light bulby at this point. There is a later scene where we will actually see, and it will kind of sink in as to what is going on. Or particularly who is Keiko, basically. Yeah, so but it should still, the scene itself should not be confusing, and it should kind of, it's like, I don't know, brightening a dimmer that you can see where it's going, even though there is still some kind of confusion. Like, I hope. We'll see. Anyway, all right, take it away, Joel, however you want to do this.
Cool, thank you. In just a second, I'm going to share my screen. I'm not sure if you can see, but my computer's glitching out. Give me 1 second here. Alright, now you can see it. Now to do the other half. Figured it out. Cool.
I will clarify one other thing. Since I don't write in this style, I basically wrote this style in screenwriting software because that's what I'm used to.
No worries. Cool. Let's take a look at this then. Anyone want to read it?
I'll read.
Cool. Thank you very much. Take it away whenever you're ready, Lasagna.
Okay. Delita arrived at the old Balkings Von Cleef property, only to be dismayed at how much they had changed it. Yes, it was their property to do with what they wanted, but still. All of the beautiful trees had been chopped, the flowers ripped out. 3 huge buildings, each bigger than her own barn, were under construction. Hello there, Nika called, looking even more disheveled than before. How nice to see you again. Sorry, I'm not any good with names. Please come in. It's okay, I'm not gonna stay. I just wanted to apologize for earlier. Shalita shows the fruits she brought. Nika feigns a chuckle, as if she has no idea what the conversation is about. Is Keiko alright? I was worried I hurt her or something. Keiko? Nika racks her brain before remembering. Oh, Keiko! Right, of course, that Keiko. Don't know where my mind is these days. Her sales pitchy voice disappears as she becomes more natural and serious. It was just an accident, and it wasn't your fault. Shalita's guilt wasn't subsided. I know, it's just that she was really upset, and Joy had calmed down within a few minutes, so don't worry about that, Nika said. Look, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I'm the wrong one to talk to. The Keiko ship is right over there in the tent. They're the best one to explain. None of this makes any sense. Them? Joy? Shalito turns back, but Nika just points. Go! So she does. Leaving her cart outside, she heads in. Inside are piles of papers and blueprints. The base of operation, it seems. But also the herd's temporary sleeping quarters. She finds Keiko sprawled out on the ground, dying from the heat. Excuse me? Keiko? Shalita said. Or is it Joy? I'm a bit confused about the name thing. Keiko grumbles with an exasperated sigh. My name is Randall. Shalita's head explodes. What the? I don't care if your name is Randall, Keiko, or Shalalala Matrion. I just came to... Keiko burst into laughter. Shalalala Matrion, that's a good one. I'll have to remember that. Whatever, that stuff outside is for you. I'm sorry about this morning. I've had enough. Wait! Keiko stands, tugging and straightening her barding. Why? I just want to explain. It's kind of nice when others use my name, my real name. Against her better judgment, Shalita stays. I'm listening. Keiko approaches, locking eyes, an empathetic smile spreading. My name is Randall. I'm one of the identities that live in this body. Not what Shalita expected to hear. It didn't make any sense, but it was still enough to pacify her frustration, though the confusion lingered. Keiko continues. We have dissociative identity disorder, DID. This body is basically like a host, a ship. We call the NCs Keiko, and all of us identities are crewmates on board. Sometimes we swap who captains the ship. Most of the time, it's me. That didn't clear up any of the confusion. Actually made it worse. But Keiko, no, Randall. His name is Randall. Seemed nice enough. Thank you, Randall. It's Randall, right? Thank you for explaining it to me. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know anything about hosts, about boats, and I don't understand a thing you said. I just want to be neighbors. Randall laughs. Randall smiles. It's all we ask. And can I just double check something to make sure I understand? Your name is Randall, and you're a guy, and Joy is a captain too? He shifts, tugging at his barding. Did her question make him uncomfortable, or is it his clothes? Right, you mentioned her before. He pulled out his journal, flipping through it. She's one of my crewmates, or more specifically, she is our security officer. She's really good at her job, but she can get a bit... He reads Joy's entry and slams the book shut. Intense. It's one way of putting it, snarked Shalita. Randall tugs again at his clothes. To be frank, I don't remember a thing about this morning. I remember you and the fruit stand, but I don't know what Joy said or did. Whatever it was, I'm really sorry. We're all sorry. This hit Shalita's funny bone. Her last bit of confusion drained away. None of it mattered. She liked him. Them? Yeah, them seemed the most appropriate. She liked them. I didn't come here for you to apologize to me. Come outside and I'll show you. She stepped outside and Randall followed. They tugged at their barding on their way out. It was definitely the clothes causing their discomfort, not the situation. Shalita delighted as she showed off her cart of gifts. I brought some mocellos for you to try, and also a parting knife. Kind of figured you wouldn't have one since you just moved. I can show you how to. Randall is still messing with their clothes. Is your barding alright? It looks uncomfortable, Shalita said. Nah, it's fine, Randall said. It's my favorite one, and I used to wear it when I visited the wharf. But you're not in the wharf. You're not at the wharf anymore. Wait, I got an idea. We have a tailor in our herd. She could make you a new barding. How about it? She asked it of politeness, but had no intention of accepting a no answer. No, we're good. You don't need to. Shalita didn't listen to a word. If we leave now, Paige will have time to get your measurements and start today. She grabbed Randall's hand, practically dragging him away. I said I was fine. The two of them stood there, awkwardly staring at each other. I'm sorry, both of them said at the same time, followed by mutual snickering. Julia checked herself and tried a different approach. At least come and take a look. If you don't like anything, then you don't have to get one. Deal? Randall shuffled around. It was definitely the situation that made him uncomfortable. They mumbled something that might have been fine. Good enough for Shalita. She led the way, this time not grabbing NC's Keiko. They waved goodbye to Nika and headed towards the Moore Park herd. The end.
Thank you very much for reading, Lasagna. And thank you very much for giving this to us, Willow. Does anyone have any feedback for Willow?
I've done prose writing before, so I will try something. I guess there are some points where it's a little distracting. There's some points that repeat itself, and then there's other points where it's like where you mentioned yourself, like you went first person briefly, which kind of threw me off. For the story itself, I think that I know things about systems. I just don't understand the whole, like, yeah, we have this explanation down pat. Like, I assume they wrote everything down, which is what the book was for, so they wrote everything down, and then they had, like, this, here's an analogy for people who don't know what we're talking about. But it kind of seemed like, I guess it's just not a natural way of getting to really know them. It's just like, we have to do this explanation every time kind of deal. I'm not really sure how to take it, I guess. Doesn't, I guess, yeah, it just feels very clinical at the moment. Very clinical, if that makes any sense. I don't know how to explain this. I have heard someone explain their systems to me before, but I guess they asked me, do you know what those are? And I was like, yeah, so they didn't have to explain all this to me. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a little conflicted. I'm a little conflicted right now. I gotta think about this more, so skip me now. Get out of here.
Yeah, I will.
I have something to say.
Oh, go.
I have to praise you for the bodily discomfort conveying. Like, I felt that so deeply in my heart. I just recently discovered some stuff about myself, and like that like shuffling in the body language, just conveying like I am not in the correct body. My brain is screaming internally. That is so relatable. I don't know if you've been in that situation, but if not, you have conveyed it like mwah, chef's kiss.
Cool.
That was really sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, I interpreted that differently. I didn't interpret it as body discomfort, but I thought it was like the clothing and more, it was the line that said, hang on, let me get it. Not there. Something like, we wore this as, when we were younger. And I liked that because at that point in time, I thought it was like one of the identities had come out and was trying to wear the clothes that they used to wear, but the body has outgrown it. That's how I interpreted it. I'm not sure if that's how you wanted me to interpret it, though.
Not exactly. Both of you are right. both of you are right. Sometimes it's the clothes and sometimes it's the situation. But there's still kind of a bit of discomfort. So both of you are right. The clothes are uncomfortable because they just moved from the city, and Randall specifically has a like of ships, and so his outfit is more geared toward being out on the water or being around water and such. But now he is in this rural, dusty place, and he's wearing they are wearing inappropriate clothes for the setting. So the clothes are absolutely the issue, but they're also realizing that Joy did something. They don't know what Joy did because they have no memory of it. So the situation is, oh my gosh, what did she do now? So it's intended to be both at different times.
Okay, cool.
Like she messed with the clothes or maybe even the body?
No. The clothes are just inappropriate for the setting.
Right, okay.
That's the only issue with the clothing. She yelled in the book. We never see what is written in their personal journal.
Mm-hmm.
But it was basically something bad about Shalita. It's not really said. I don't know if it be clarified, but it's a note to themselves of warning about Shalita. Shalita is bad.
Okay.
And like, the one identity's interpretation is different from it is. I don't know. I don't know if it's clear. It's not really intended to be clear. Like, hoping to get the message that they're writing notes to each other,
Mm-hmm.
the different entities. I don't know.
I'm sorry I misinterpreted that thing with the clothes, but I might have zoned out for a second because concentration went to here, not here. Sorry.
But no, you were actually right. You were right that they were uncomfortable about basically Randall is telling a virtual stranger about their disability. So yes, they would be uncomfortable. Like, I don't know. Both of you were right about the discomfort.
So it's more nervous shuffling because of what I'm doing, and the tugging on the clothes is just like a stim kind of thing.
Kind of, yes, depending on the situation.
Okay.
Yes. Both are true.
It just reminded me of the time I am sorry, I'm going to open up a little bit. I stopped wearing bras for a very long time. And then I had to put one on recently because I was going to the doctors and they were going to take my shirt off and I didn't want to expose my tatas. I felt like I was strapped in a straitjacket.
I feel you so much.
And that scene just reminded me of that. I kept just shuffling at it, just pulling it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I couldn't breathe, which is weird because it's not an uncomfortable model. It's just like the sheer fact of wearing it makes me want to jump off a bridge, to be honest.
That's exactly what they're experiencing it because they're wearing the wrong clothes in the wrong location. On top of being in an uncomfortable position.
Yeah.
Since I'm addressing you guys, I wanted to address lasagna too. And yeah, it is very clinical. It's kind of meant to be, and I don't know how to fix it. Anyway, you're dead on right. That. Okay. Be quiet now.
Yeah, it did feel a bit like an info dump. Just, and weirdly, it didn't even feel scripted. It just felt, we're going to just throw all this information at you. That's how I got it. And it didn't come across in a way of, that was the character doing that. I think it came across more as, that's the writer dumping information, which, you never want. But I do love the analogy of using a ship and, changing the alter roles names. So not a protector, it's a security officer, I think you said. I love that. I love that idea. That's so cool.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking when explaining that their personality doesn't really come through Randall's personality, and I'm wondering how you decide how these other identities act with act in general. One of them's intense, then Joy is intense. I guess we know that. Randall likes boats. But I guess how would Randall really explain DID to someone that someone that he's worried that he yelled at, that Joy has yelled at, and they're just like, why though? Why? I don't remember this shit at all, and now I have to fucking explain this. What am I gonna do? Kind of deal.
Also, the info dumping didn't strike me as mechanical at all because I was in a position where I had to info dump repeatedly to people, to the point where one of my friends has heard the story so many times that when I heaved an exasperated sigh, she did it for me.
Yeah.
She straight up repeated all of my info dumps instead of me, and it was so funny. I mean, it wasn't because I had some kind of disorder that I had to explain, but it was right after I dyed my hair purple for the first time, and it was washing out into blue, and I had to explain why the blue comes out when it's been washed a couple of times, and everybody and their grandma asked me that question.
Yeah. I guess for me, it didn't really feel like a conversation between two people, which I would understand if it's I had to explain this multiple times, but it's also it's a very vulnerable moment made into something that's just here is some exposition about myself. It's a very vulnerable moment because of what Joy did to Shalita, this entire misunderstanding, and now you're a stranger who has witnessed it, but one of the parties, and you're just God, what do I fucking do? I have to explain this whole thing with them, and as a result with me. And I don't really sense their confusion here. And instead, I sense their discomfort because you make them shuffle a couple of times, but I don't sense it within their dialogue, I guess.
Okay, good points. Really, really good points. Yeah.
I do like what you're doing though, and I like that you're shedding a light on this sort of thing. And I think you'll do a good job. But yeah, those are my notes. Sorry.
I don't mean to bust in here and demand information instead of figuring it out from context clues, but I can't. what was the topic?
Yeah. A misunderstanding happened with another character, and Shalita, it's her centaur story. Okay, Shalita comes in, the main character for this scene, and is going to apologize to them, but realizes, hey, there's something kind of fishy going on here. What's happening? And I think that's really all you need to know.
Oh, okay. So like it wasn't a misunderstanding, like they really meant to do it?
No, it was a misunderstanding, but there's something going on with this person that I had the misunderstanding with. What's happening?
Oh.
You know?
Okay. Sweet.
Anyway, so you can read that and then
Oh.
give feedback, probably.
That's probably the best way to do it, yeah. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, goodness.
An excellent recap. Sorry, Jill.
Thank you.
No, I was just saying I missed everything because my computer crashed.
I was just explaining to Gray what happened, so Gray may read and give feedback.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it. Cool.
Still,
boy.
kind of confused. I don't know. It feels like information overload. It's just like, I don't know, too prosy for me personally. I don't know. I'm used to reading stuff that's
Paul can't read. Didn't you know?
I can read. It's just too wordy. I can't.
He can read. He chooses not to.
I choose to read some things. I say it's too wordy, and Lasagna's going to get on me about that. Because
I am. I'm about to.
Okay, but one is informational text. I expect that kind of stuff to be wordy. It felt like I don't know, if the point was to put you in the space of the character and overwhelm you, then that was accomplished. But again, I was overwhelmed, and I don't know
Bless
that
you.
I mean that
Sorry.
in like a positive sense. I just,
Jesus, I didn't
like,
mute.
didn't really understand what was happening.
Yeah.
You're good. Yeah, I was just kind of confused, and the conversation didn't feel like it was really building to me, like towards, like I don't know. I'm bad at giving feedback on stuff. It's just the whole thing was kind of confusing to me.
I am sorry for the trumpet solo, everybody. I am incapable of blowing my nose quietly, and I swear to God I tried to mute, but I forgot.
It's
I didn't even hear
okay. I
nothing.
forget. No, I heard it. I got scared, but also I forgive you. But yeah. Yeah, I guess try to make Randall's feelings come across a little clearer, like the whole discomfort thing, through verbal dialogue and all this stuff, and also like how would someone who is nervous and confused, disoriented, relay this information to someone, like, or whoever feels like how Randall feels in this moment? How would they relay this information? And also, like, make it more of like a conversation between two people instead of, here is this encyclopedic knowledge I have. Here is this informational text. I don't know. We wrote
I
this shit
agree.
down.
Some of it felt like you were implying things through the action lines that could have been implied somehow by the dialogue. It's like, oh, they're feeling this way, they're feeling that way. It's like, well, show me. You know what I mean? I don't know. Again, it felt like reading a book, but in script format.
It is prose. It is prose. It's not like a script format.
It's
Oh,
supposed to
a
be
book, right?
read like a book.
It is
supposed to be
book
like a
form right now.
Okay, I was in
Uh.
fucking script reading mode. I was so confused. I was like, what's going on?
You're
Welcome
silly.
to WordCamp. We do novels here.
Thanks for the heads up. Yeah, I'll remember that next time. You know, maybe I won't leave my brain at the door next time I walk into my room. Hold up. Let me go pick it back up.
But yeah, I don't know. I think more things can be conveyed within the dialogue, but I do like the entire concept here, and you have told me about this before, and I like it. So, that's yeah. Thank you.
I will give it a reread with the context of it being a book in mind, okay? And then I will get back to you.
Everyone needs to reread. Let's sit here for 30 minutes. I know.
I think
You're
it'll take 30 minutes for me to read 5
Yeah,
pages?
definitely. Yeah, it will.
It's only 5, it's 4. The first page is the title.
You did leave your brain at the door, you said.
Yeah. I've yet to pick it up yet. You know, I lost all motor function after leaving it there, so.
No brains
Oh,
allowed here,
boy.
only vibe. Also, I just skimmed through it, and I see what everybody means about the info dumping part. I can't speak for people with DID, but I think the ship metaphor is pretty cool. Maybe you could just the whole thing is somebody's consciousness is fragmented, right? Is that the
Yep.
okay? And so maybe you could just have them keep saying, "Oh, I'm sorry that Keiko or Joy or whoever, like they were at the helm at that point, but now it's Randall," or like something like that. That might be too vague, but I'll have to think on that to give a better suggestion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
I
clumsy
think you could.
explanation would be pretty fun to have. Like, just like I'm Randall right now, and it's just I'm Randall, and it's like, well, who's Randall? Who is Randall? Where's Joy? It's just like I mean, Joy was here, but now I'm Randall. All this stuff.
And don't people
Was Joy yesterday, but today I'm Randall.
don't people generally have parts that come out to handle different situations? Maybe-
Generally, but not necessarily.
Kind of, sort of.
And whoa. Sorry, noisy neighbors. And it doesn't always work like that. And you don't always switch quickly. So you can be sort of in limbo for minutes, hours even. So it's not a perfect, for this location we have this altar sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to think on that. This is sort of a complex thing to have to approach with. They're not centaurs. There's another name for them. Bardlings?
No, they're centaurs, but they're wearing
Oh, okay.
bardings. Those are like their clothes.
What are bardings?
There's a name for the entire species. I don't know. I don't know where I'm
No,
Quirky.
I can give you a. Wait, where is
fact sheet. Relevant
fact sheet? But kind of clarify what he is tugging at and why.
We can still hear you. Discord and again.
Yeah,
Um,
disclose.
yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. It's familiar.
So that's a barding.
Okay. But yeah, I totally get wanting to really get into the minutia of the especially of mental disorders, because this is barely related, but like the one time I was in the psych ward, I was like basically the adult. I was 17, and I was in there with like a bunch of kids, and like they would just say the darndest things, don't you know? And I happened to bring up that some of them were like, "Huh, what does that mean?" And one of them was like, "It means she's a robot." I'm like, "No." And I kept on trying to go into a lengthy explanation, but like everyone was like, "Oh, I see, a robot." I'm like, "No, that's incorrect."
Not
Oh.
robot.
Yeah, so I get really wanting to get across what something is and what it isn't. So, but yeah, this is an inherently hard thing to tackle.
Yeah, it becomes more clear, and where Shalita starts to actually understand, that, where she starts to understand what exactly it means, when they go to the clothes shop, and that triggers another crewmate to come out, and so she can see a switch firsthand. So it's not really intended to be clear. It's kind of intended to say, "Oh, this is where we're going. How is this going to be handled?" I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, how do you describe to somebody a concept that they do not understand and will not comprehend until a bit later?
I wouldn't
Usually you
like.
use analogies, which you did.
Yeah. I wouldn't say make it clear, because I kind of want it to be more confusing, them misunderstanding each other. Again, but like in a way that's sort of like, okay, so you're Randall, and I'm Shalita, kind of deal.
So one
Just like make it more of like a conversation between the two of them instead of just one-sided. I'm giving you information overload.
One thing while I was writing this, I realized how much it sounded like Randall was trans.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
it does sound like
For a
that.
second, I
It
did.
does.
I did have that impression too.
And I wanted to steer away from that. Just because I don't want the misunderstanding.
I mean, in the ID, gender dysphoria is, or very commonly is, a part of a condition. So I don't think it's necessarily bad to have it confused as being transgender.
Because
Okay.
yeah, if one of the identities gender doesn't match the sex of the body, they will have dysmorphia. That just makes sense. And the trans confusion can stem from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that does make sense, since this
Not every trans person and not every identity will identity whose gender doesn't match your bodies will feel gender dysphoria. So yeah, great, you're right.
I don't want like, that sounds good, and I like that. I would not want, say, a trans person to be reading this and say, "Oh, okay, well, this is a trans person. Okay, this person is trans, and oh, wait, nope, this is a totally different mental illness. Like, it's not mental illness. That's I'm trying the wrong
I know what you
wrong
mean,
word.
yeah.
It's
And how a trans person reading it and saying to themselves, "Oh, somebody has a similar experience in life to me? That's wild. That's
okay.
Yeah.
relatable."
That is true. That is true. But I don't know.
You don't want them to be like confused for each other, I guess, right? Like making them interchangeable when they're not interchangeable. Kind of deal.
Yeah,
But
because
I
the
do think,
haters are going to accuse you of that either way, so
Screw the
get
haters.
ready.
yeah.
There you go. You're ready.
I would love to have a trans character, but I would want that character to be trans. Like, I guess it would be a Venn diagram, right? and of trans and DID, and in the center, the overlap would be a male identity who who
Lives in a
is
female body.
yes, lives in a female body.
I'm
So,
sorry, I thought you were struggling. I just
no,
wanted
I
to.
was.
Sorry.
You were right. Yes. So thank you for clarifying.
If you
I
don't
do this
wanna
all the
have that-
time. I'm so sorry. I have learned to do it because of my fiance takes 7 years to tell a story, and sometimes I just tell it instead.
No, you're good. If it helps, it helps. But I am thinking, like, if you don't want to deal with that confusion, then Randall will have to be a female identity at that point. Probably. If you don't want to deal with the confusion of like this character being trans. I think Randall's cool, but if you
Or
are
maybe
worried about
lampshade it,
this-
address it straight up in the text. Are you trans? No, I'm DID. What's that? Well, you know. And that is how you organically get into the
Oh, yeah.
conversation about how that works.
I
Yeah.
love that. I absolutely love that. Okay, I'm writing that down. I love that so much.
Because
Yeah,
more
that's a good
people
way.
know what trans is and could be accepting of the or not, you know, but she should know what a trans person is if there are any in their society. I don't know. You do.
Yes. Yes. I'll
And
say
you
it.
know, if you don't know something, you relate it to something you do know. So going to the
Ooh.
trans conclusion would be organic, and also, like I said, you would lampshade it so the audience wouldn't have to be be mad about that.
Perfect.
Nip it in the bud.
I love it. I love this.
Clap, 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 clap. Good job. Did it. I'll say something.
I mean, to be honest, going to what Gray said, I kind of like At the Helm.
At the helm is
I don't
cute.
know, I like it. It fits with the analogy. I mean, yeah, maybe they can like because internally they describe it as a ship anyway. So say someone's not at the helm. I mean they're away. They're it's that sort of thing where they've said the wrong thing because they're used to just talking to people in the know. Maybe that might be a way of doing it.
I used to know a person who was DID, and they called themselves the bus. And a common thing when they entered a chat would be to ask them who's driving. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. I like that.
Hey
One
guys,
of the
I started out over here. I've done so much today. Thank you.
oh well, see now I lose track of what I'm going to say. So having a story revolving around centaurs and like developing their kind of language and stuff, and I need to go back and rewrite the dialogue and language and such, make it more personable. But I went down the horse rabbit hole and all kinds of horse terminology and such. And so now I still need to go down the shipping rabbit hole, learning about boats and stuff and how can I combine the two.
I can introduce you to a sailor who will talk your ear off if you ask him a question. And I have an idea. I am sorry. I am just bursting out with ideas today. So the nervous tick could be with associated with the thing that they are half horses, essentially. And it doesn't have to be, tugging on the, forgot the name of the thing, sorry, but it could be like, the hind leg just doing the county thing.
Okay, yeah, I know what you mean.
Because it kind of reminds me of how ADHD people do the thing with their leg. I do that too, and my mom tells me that I look like an excited retriever.
All right. So, coming up with some killer ideas right now, Eden.
Thank you.
What Grace says. Perhaps they could actively try to hide it till somebody snaps in frustration and finally explains it all, albeit in sort of a confusing way. Actually, wait, is that what already happened? That is kind of what happened, yes. I kind of don't want I don't want them to hide it necessarily. I want them to be open about it. Yes, Eden is good brained. I do want them to be open and accepting that they are out and proud. They like who they are. And you know what? This is the way that I live. I am happy living with my others. They cause me problems sometimes, but I do want them to be out and proud, basically, with DID.
That's a good message.
So I don't want them to hide it. But I also don't want it to feel so clinical. It's okay if it's a little bit clinical. I think one of the issues, and I was considering, is whether to even mention DID. I wanted to mention it kind of to clarify, but in this place that has a horse creature making shipping metaphors, would they even call it DID?
Bull barn disorder? I am so sorry. That was horrible, and I will see myself out.
Bull barn disorder. I think it can be mentioned. I mean, I don't know how
There's
far
a
the medical
steeplechase
field
going on in my head.
I don't know how far
I-
the medical field in this world is. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how the how a centaur's brain develops. But if it's a fantasy world, you're designing the characters. If you decide that a species' brain works a certain way, you can do that. In terms of a name, nothing about the name is particularly human, so I don't think you'd have any problems there. Yeah.
Yeah, but there can be like a colloquial term that they call it as centaurs, which would be really cool.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I think so. All
No,
right.
What is this story about? I feel like I missed that part.
Centaurs mostly.
But like, I guess like, what is the I don't know, like if you had to
It's
like,
like
what would a
a
log line for it?
ensemble cast slice of life thing on a farm.
Yeah.
But yeah, we follow different characters on occasion, and this one we're following Shalita, and then they meet Keiko, or Randall, or Joy, all of them.
Yeah, so more specifically, it's kind of in flux. It started one way and it might be going another way, but it started with Delita runs a fruit market. That's where she met the Von Cleef family and Keiko, and this whole misunderstanding with Joy happened. And in Shalita's family, there is a newborn centaur, and the mother centaur can't make milk, and so Shalita is sent to go get milk for the baby, and accompanying her is the two of them go, both the NCS Keiko and Shalita go together to get the milk. I might not go with that storyline. And then during the journey, some issues happen and we learn more about Keiko and stuff. I am thinking that was the original story. I was thinking of going in a different direction. So I just watched Bridgerton and shockingly enjoyed it. I don't like love stories, not into love stories, but I really liked how one season focused on a particular pair. And so, or a particular couple or character, whatever. And so I was thinking about going that kind of route. And this matches with the Bridgerton books, in which each book features a different character. So this one could be Shalita's book. And in this case, she becomes friends with the NCS Keiko. And I don't really have a goal for Shalita. I need to work on that. I have her character kind of, but for the NCS Keiko, she becomes a doctor. And so she gets the help, and that is kind of what their goal is. I'm still ironing that out. We're still in the introductory phase of these two characters. The next scene is where things really
Give
become.
me a second, please.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I think they meant BRB.
Okay.
I mean, I think she meant BRB.
Oh, she meant BRB. Yeah, so right now I don't have the particular pilot. I don't have the particular goal in mind. I just wanted to write down and these scenes, these kind of introductory scenes that I've been kind of obsessing with. This one and the next one with the clothing, where everything kind of, now I get it, kind of a scene. So yeah, that's what this is. That's where my brain has been. And anyway.
Thanks. I'm still confused, but that's just my brain doesn't intake information well. So, I feel like I need time to process that.
It doesn't make any sense, so therefore there's not much to process.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It's basically a garbage heap with a gazillion ideas that don't make any sense.
That is how everything starts. That means you're on the right track. Yeah. No, I feel you, man. Yeah. It's most of storytelling is about, the organization of ideas. So you'll get there. The more ideas, the better, I guess. Having too many ideas is never a real problem. And if you do have that problem ever, it's a situation of just cutting back on what you don't need. But yeah, man. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll figure it out.
The one Doesn't shut up has a question. What kind of milk are they going to feed the baby? I am genuinely interested in this mainly because horses can't drink cow milk.
In this case, sheep. I don't know if horses can drink sheep milk. But
There's centaurs and there's sheep. I'm just confused by this whole road, I guess.
how about sheep adjacent? Some.
Let's just call them bar beasties for now. Okay, so they exist.
Yes.
But and I am really just overthinking everything at this point. The most versatile milk that you can feed absolutely any baby mammal is goat milk. Cats are born lactose intolerant. You cannot give them a cow milk because they will literally die if they're too small. And you can give them goat milk, no problem.
That is interesting.
And I think it would be interesting world building to make a point, make a case that it has to be a specific type of milk. I'm not saying it has to be goat milk. Maybe in that world, the bar beasties make the best milk.
Okay, that is some good point. So I did research more about human babies. What can human babies versus what horse babies can drink? The goat thing, I do like the goat thing. I am wondering because
Human babies can drink goat milk just fine. It is like I said, a miracle for all mammal babies.
Okay, you got my wheels turning. Oh my gosh, you've made me do so much thinking. I don't want to do.
That's my job.
You're making me think.
That's what she did to me earlier. It was terrible. I hated it.
I know. Stop inspiring me.
How dare I?
Yes, how dare you?
Earlier. You said that you couldn't do your prompt because you weren't inspired. You said you had to write prompts in the session.
That's because I need people like Eden to be inspiring me and making me think. And all right, so the goat thing, I do wonder because I do want to have another species, particularly a fawn, which are half goat, half humanoid.
See now, the fawns could be like the wet nurses of the world. Like their thing is that their milk is just that good that they're sought out to be wet nurses for any kind of sentient baby.
Okay,
well, that went weird. Okay, I'm shutting up now.
that went a bit off, and I am going to tell you off for this one. That would be an entire population of people having only one purpose, rather than just being a population.
Not one purpose, but that would be like the dwarfs are the best miners, yes, as a species, but this particular dwarf likes to collect ceramic unicorns for all I know. It's like a thing, it's like a stereotype, but it's a good one because you can build off of it. Like they come up to someone who is from that race and ask them to be the wet nurse or something, like, I do needlepoint, do you want to buy some, you know?
Eden,
And also you're racist.
Eden, I think you should host a world building group. I'll just say it right now. You'd be so helpful.
Yes.
Okay, I'm game.
Oh.
Will I need a PowerPoint, or is it okay if I just wash my hair and look pretty?
You can wash your hair and look pretty.
I mean, you don't
so you don't have.
be.
Yeah,
You don't
Like, you don't need to do anything. Like, honestly, you could just turn off your camera. You could be vibing. You could be vibing
Yeah,
however you
that's
want.
what I do most of the time. When my camera's on, I'm just podcast mode, just listening.
But yeah, I've been waiting for a world building group to like do it.
She was literally
Done.
talking about it the other day, so yeah, you
I
go
was.
do it, child. Grace trying to pull a PowerPoint, but I don't think you need it. Yeah.
Again. Sorry.
If that's it for Willow, we will move on to anyone
you.
else who would like any help with anything in life. Or maybe not in life, that might be too general. Maybe we should be
Please
more
help me
specific.
reorganize my life. It'd be great if you helped me reevaluate my life. Yeah.
I need to learn that before I can teach that. Sorry.
I got it. Step 1, become cat. Step 2, profit.
That's true.
Boy. Okay. If no one has anything else, then we've got 20 minutes left. I forgot to find the prompt. That only takes me 20 minutes. Actually, it won't this time. Let's get a writer's prompt, and then we can do as Willow likes, and we can finish off the session with a writing prompt. And we'll just, go indefinitely. Or whatever.
Zach has a question.
Oh, Zach, give us a question. I want a question.
I will
Okay, you can
interrupt.
type it.
A quick reminder that fantasy workshop starts promptly at 10 or promptly at the hour.
Yeah. So immediately, we will begin. Most, I think, of us will go into fantasy. I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. Forgot how to English then.
What's happening? Sorry, did
I
I
think
miss
we're
something?
we're supposed to ask a question. And while he does that, I'm downloading a thing
Okay.
for our writing prompt. Hello, Asmani. Oh, they're
You're
not in the
cute.
group. Memoir. Someone's got a memoir? Whoa. Okay, so, this is Zach's question. So one of my characters has his arm chopped off at the elbow point. How long do you guys think it takes to teach yourself how to use like a fake, what? Oh, a fake arm, a prosthetic arm. Okay. What steps would be involved in the learning process? Yeah, so
I
it will
can't.
take. Oh, I know, go on.
Sorry. I thought you were stopping and thinking. Sorry.
Go on, you go ahead.
I can't speak for arms. I don't know about arms, but I just watched a video about a leg, and it took her like the better part of a year to be able to walk comfortably and naturally. That was with the leg, not an arm. So pick what you want. I'm sorry, Joel. I didn't mean to
Yeah, but
interrupt.
that adds on to what I was going to say, because I don't know how long it takes to use legs. I've never used mine. But I will say that arms obviously are more complex and sophisticated than legs. And so it will take a long time. also because they're so complex, it's very rare that you will have like a almost fully functioning arm. Like there are some really good ones. Am I allowed to say brands? I won't, just in case. But there's a content creator who I follow who has this really cool prosthetic arm, or two of them actually. And she's able to like move joints like that. But she can't move her fingers individually. Why did you name the event Disability Workshop? Probably because we talk about disability. Sorry. Yeah, so they have to be very advanced. No. Not true.
Sorry.
I'll deal with that later. I'm gonna get distracted otherwise I could go into a whole thing about that. Yeah, so it works by using the muscles in the arms. The muscles that aren't used anymore. So there's like pressure buttons or something. I'm not sure exactly how it works. But when you flex that muscle, for instance, then the prosthetic arm will detect that and will know what action to do. But then it goes through different modes. So you might have mode 1 will be move thumb, mode 2 would be move other fingers, or whatever. Different presets and other things like that. I am very tempted to time out this person.
Let's see, I
Yeah.
think of the most polite way to tell them,
Yeah.
never mind, I'll figure it out.
You know what? Get out of here. I'm not interested in you.
Disabilities are not inherently negative.
No.
And also the implication that you have to show talent to be valued as a person.
Oh, why can't I time her out? Time them out. I can't
They're a
time them
bit
out.
silly goofy.
I consider myself disabled. I am autistic as all fuck, and my special power is zoning out.
Facts.
Yeah, I guess they're just in a silly, goofy mood. Oh well.
They're in a silly goofy mood.
Okay.
Please don't start that.
Sorry. That was gonna distract me otherwise. Yeah, anyway. Hopefully that answered your question, Zach. I lost focus. If you need me to clarify anything, please ask. Okay, cool.
Everything's all intricate and shit. Research is important. Yeah.
Rabbit holes
Everything.
are fun.
Yeah. There's a
sorry.
lot that goes into everything.
I'm going to go back to Zach quickly, sorry. The fact that you can have different modes is something I didn't know. Each prosthetic arm will understandably work differently, so I can't talk for all, for all arms, particularly since I don't have any myself, any prosthetic arms myself. But yeah, I'm going to see if I can find a... Because everything I learn of people who have a disability from social media. So, let's see if I can find her. If you're on TikTok, I know that she's on TikTok. But I know that many people don't use it, so yeah. Okay, you're on TikTok, cool. Stop it. Computer. Stop. Oh my goodness me. Sorry.
How dare you say that on camera?
What?
I was making a joke. You said sorry, and I was making a joke like acting like you swore or something. Sorry. I thought I had something.
Anyway, here we go. Cool. Right, that's done. So, you're unmuted again, Eden. You're not now. Right now. Cool. Fantasy Workshop is about to start, it seems. I will post the message in the channel within the next couple minutes. You have 2 weeks. You have until Friday, 11 p.m. British time. Working backwards. 6 p.m. EST. 3 p.m. PST. Oh, that was a little maths for my poor little brain. Yeah. So, yeah. I hope you all have a wonderful evening/afternoon, whatever time it is for you, wherever you are. And get the prompt done. We've also got one running on Script Camp for our screenwriter one. That is due same time this coming Friday. And then this one for WordCamp will be in 2 weeks. So, yeah. Me and or Willow will review any submissions as they come in, and coins will be given. Yeah, thank you all for coming, and have a wonderful week.
Also, I am so sorry for the disturbance just now, but apparently nobody respects the fact that I have a do not disturb sign outside.
No,
Oh,
you're
no
good.
worries,
I
no
didn't
worries.
do anything.
See you guys.
But yeah.